doing from the Sylvester Spin number 3 back to y'all with another video. And today I'm gonna be talking about the Atlanta Falcons. And the Atlanta Falcons, they're in a tricky situation right now, knowing that they lost Calvin Ridley and they lost on the Deshaun Watson situation. This was a tough situation for them. I think they really wanted Deshaun Watson and they wanted to move on from the Matt Ryan era. But now that they lost in, I still think you're going to see Matt Ryan traded possibly somewhere like the Colts. And I think that would have been be a great pickup for somebody like the Colts. I think this is a team that's going to be rebuilding. They're going to be looking towards the draft for another quarterback. I think this was a quarterback that you would like to keep an eye on. It's a guy from literally Malik Willis, who to me had a great workout. I know it's just a combine, but you can see the arm strength that he has and the raw potential he has. And at number 8, I do think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be looking for towards the quarterback, and I don't see why not. I think the Matt Ryan has run its course. Julio Jones, who was the franchise player, who was the heart and soul of that team, left. And he's just been released by the Tennessee Titans. So the Matt Ryan era probably came to an end, especially with those trade rumors with Deshaun Watson. I know it probably didn't sit right with Matt Ryan, and I think he's going to keep it classy and classy with with Atlanta, of course, and find that right destination for them. Malik Willis will be a great pickup for them, especially coming into this draft, holding the number 8 draft pick. They re-signed Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson. They signed cornerback Casey Hayward to pair up with Terrell, who's AJ Terrell, who had a great season last year. If you haven't paid attention, he was probably the best cornerback in the league. He was definitely a shutdown corner and proved why he was taken at that pick last year in last year's draft. So he had a great season, and having re-signing Cordell Patterson was a great pickup for them. He was coming off a Pro Bowl year, an all around good player, running, catching the football. He was definitely one of he was probably the best offensive threat, especially especially knowing that what they lost in Julio and Kyle Pitts. Man, Kyle Pitts looks like that special player. He had a little slow start to the season, but he picked it up and he had the second most passing yards from a tight end in NFL history, and he had a great season. But this is a team that's looking to rebuild slowly. I think they're knowing that Tom Brady's coming back, and he's not looking like he's slowed down, especially since they know what he did last season. This is a team that I feel like is just going to rebuild a little bit. They're looking towards the future. I do think they're looking at other teams and looking at how mobile quarterbacks are changing the game, and this is a team that is definitely going to take I think it's going to take the next step in the direction. I did like what Arthur Smith has brought in and what he's done to the culture so far, and it's just going to be interesting to see if or how they're going to build this team. And they can look forward to a future if I think they draft another quarterback, or if they draft a quarterback, or having Matt Ryan for another year while another quarterback sits. But I don't think that's going to happen. I do think they're going to trade Matt Ryan. I think he's going to be out of there by probably this month or after the draft, depending on which teams grab the quarterback they wanted. But you do look at organizations like the Colts, who are looking for a quarterback replacement, knowing that they just traded Carson Wentz. So that would be definitely a great fit for them, especially with the offensive line and weapons that team has. So look forward towards the Colts as a good trade destination for Matt Ryan. Give me your thoughts on opinion. What do you think Atlanta should do? Because personally, I feel like they should just rebuild around a new quarterback. I think the Matt Ryan era has had a lot of success. It didn't end in the Super Bowl. You know what happened at the end of the story. But this is the division that, to me, is still open. It's still open. Just because Tom Brady has came back, you don't know when Tom Brady's going to fall off that cliff, even though we're still waiting. But he couldn't stay retired for more than 2 months. But he's But Matt Ryan's definitely a second best quarterback, especially in knowing that Carolina, you don't know what their plan is, especially at quarterback. So it's going to be definitely interesting for them. It's definitely going to be interesting for them. And the Saints, The Saints are still looking for that guy after Drew Brees. I don't believe in Taysom Hill's that guy, and he doesn't give me much hope. So I do believe in that this is a team that still has a lot to add, but having that number eight draft pick and taking somebody like a Malik Willis. I know I'm saying that name a lot, but I really do would love to see him with an Arthur Smith and what he did for Ryan Tannehill when he was in Tennessee. And I do think he helped Ryan out a lot last year. That team was definitely not as bad as what people thought it was going to be. So give me your thoughts and your opinion. Thoughts and opinion. Tone out. Thank you.